Good afternoon. I would like you to join me on the journey of an injured soldier who went from being suicidal to a more stable human being because of three main things: courage, connection, and care. So let's dive in. It's 2005, and the military has activated this former Army soldier to serve in the Iraq War. They leave their family, and while preparing to go to Iraq, they fall 11 feet and severely injure their back. And two back surgeries later, this soldier is lost in a wheelchair after being told they may never walk again, has no connection to individuals who understand, and has no quick or easy access to care in the VA community. Now, show of hands. How many of you could actually see the soldier, the wheelchair? How many of you felt the emotions? How many of you imagined a female veteran? And how many of you imagined me? My name is Zanetta Adams, and this is my story, and I am that veteran. And you may be that veteran too. Now, there are at least three things that I hope that you take away today, and that is the 3 C's of successfully reaching women veterans: courage, connection, and care. And these 3 words do not stand alone either. They all touch one another in the lives of veterans. Now, courage is the first main step that a veteran needs to take to get the help they need. And many women veterans specifically struggle to overcome the fear and anxiety it takes to move on to the next chapter of life. So why don't women identify as veterans? Maybe it's because they've been traumatized in the military. Or maybe they don't feel like a real veteran because they didn't serve in combat. I understand those feelings because I am not a combat veteran, and I felt the same way. While I struggled with coming to terms with my service, I also dealt with feelings of aloneness and with feelings that no one knew or understood my pain. I didn't start to leave that place of emptiness until I went to a women veterans retreat in Aspen. Now, it takes courage, like the courage I had when I pressed on and attended the retreat, to step out of the unknown for self-care. And that is where courage and connection overlap. At retreats for women veterans is where I met women who would later be the inspiration for the Military Sisterhood Initiative. In part due to calls that I received from many of them late at night saying things like, "I don't want to live anymore. I'm a burden. I am alone. No one understands what I've been through. I am afraid," and many more. It was heartbreaking, but also comforting to know that I was not alone in my feelings and that I could be trusted with their feelings. Unfortunately, these were all things I once said to myself. Now, it was from those experiences that I had a strong desire to do more for women veterans. So in 2014, I started an organization, Wink for All Women Veterans for Women Veterans, which focused on offering peer support groups, retreats, studying the effects of military sexual trauma. And we also looked at events to honor women veterans. But for me, that still wasn't enough. Women were still hesitant to participate as a veteran because of fear. Now, once they abandoned fear and connected to others, they stayed connected. But as we continued to work to reach the over 2 million women veterans in the United States, which include the 7.5% of women vets who use the VA, or even the 43,000 women veterans in Michigan for Connection, the number of suicides and military sexual trauma cases amongst women veterans across the country continued to rise. The question then became, how can we connect women to one another in a place where they felt safe? And that is where the Military Sisterhood Initiative came in. Now, it was born out of the need to create a safe space where women veterans who just needed someone to talk to and understand them at any hour could reach another sister somewhere else and not feel like they were alone and feel like someone was listening. I wanted it to be impactful as well and reach as many women veterans as possible, so Wink connected and partnered with Challenge America. They trusted our vision and did what I know they do best. They have taken that vision and made it a reality for thousands of women veterans. So why is the Military Sisterhood Initiative important for you and me? Well, through my work with women veterans, I have seen that they thrive on connectivity with their peers, but unfortunately don't know they need it until they actually truly experience it. Additionally, while veterans hear connection, sometimes they hear group therapy. That's what I heard initially, and I was not down for that plan at all. I needed something more holistic, something that had some control mechanisms in place, but did not feel like a VA mental health setting. But every veteran is different, and some women veterans thrive on a structured group therapy. That's the beauty of the MSI. With your help, we can potentially have both on that type of platform. Now, since the January 2020 relaunch on the Mighty Networks platform and app, the MSI has close to 4,000 members in over 18 countries that are connecting with one another, encouraging one another, self-policing one another, and engaging with one another. And there are opportunities for structured and controlled chaos, if you will, on the platform. Furthermore, the platform is doing its job of connecting women veterans and fostering those relationships and learning, as evidenced by the 49% of active members contributing by posting and commenting, and 93% of active members returning to use the platform. So your next question should be, how can I get more women veterans connected to my programs by use of the Military Sisterhood Initiative platform? By integrating some of your programs into this non-traditional pathway to care, that's how. Now, I know that you care about this, otherwise you wouldn't be here paying attention and hanging on to my every word. And I believe that the VA and other stakeholders can partner and participate on the platform by offering educational, therapeutic, and other opportunities for women veterans that want structure and support in a non-clinical setting. Now, through a national, state, and local effort, you can also enlist your sister organizations and partners to recognize that this is an out-of-the-box way to encourage women veterans to get connected to care, while also reducing the rate of suicide amongst women veterans. So we know the number of suicides amongst veterans are rising, which is why we must act now. I initially did not believe the VA was for me, as I struggled with mental health issues. But my connection to other women veterans in a non-VA setting is what led me to get the psychological help that I needed in a VA setting. The MSI is a way for women veterans to find what I found and ultimately find the courage to take the next step and get connected to care. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can be a part of connecting women veterans to the platform they need through this platform. Ultimately, I put aside fear and connected with women as a severely disabled veteran who felt that at one time that suicide was the answer. And since 2005, when I was injured, my journey to find connection and finally get the care I needed is what helped me to become the person I am today. A proud veteran, productive family member, lawyer, founder, innovator, and director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. Now, this is my story, but you can pick up where I left off with the Military Sisterhood Initiative. So the final question for you is, what actions will you take to help a veteran like me?